You know what I spent my afternoon doing? Worrying about you.
If you're hearing our voices, it means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast where we watch the worst movies from trailer to end credits, scene by scene, so you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
I'm Jared.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah, no problem. I'm always worried about you.
Yeah.
You're the Hal Jordan to my
I am
Carol Ferris. I guess.
I am the lantern to your ring.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe.
Charge me up. Give me some energy. Sure.
Right? Fired up. Right? That's what I do.
That's nice.
Okay. So we're back. If you were not aware for what we're doing, I guess at all and in life.
This is a podcast. Yep.
Nope, this is a podcast. This is what we do. So we're kicking off our scene by scene breakdown of the 2011 film movie Green Lantern.
That's right. Which, if you didn't listen to the trailer trash, go back and listen. But the premise here is reckless test pilot Hal Jordan is granted an alien ring that bestows him with otherworldly powers that inducts him into an intergalactic police force, the Green Lantern Corps. That
Nailed it.
Super run-on sentence. Yeah.
Expectations from the trailer. So we'll just clarify so you haven't listened to the trailer trash. So Jared has not seen this movie, but you'd call yourself a Green Lantern fan,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. I would.
And full disclosure on my side, I am not a Green Lantern fan. Never was. I was always more of a Marvel kid. Of course, I like the big DC ones, Superman and Batman, but knew roughly about Green Lantern, but I couldn't tell you.
That's fair. Yeah, and I remember now that you say that, it's jogging my memory and for my prognostications in the trailer trash that I figured I didn't know what to prognosticate, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, this is not from the comics.
Yeah.
Like, the storyline is not from the comics. And I was right. It definitely has nothing to do with the comic book characters, Green Lantern. I mean, it does. Obviously it's Green Lantern adjacent, but they changed a lot.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a ring,
He's got a ring. There are the Guardians that do exist. Sinestro is a character. Like, a lot of the characters are real characters.
Yeah. They all exist.
They're all,
right?
I guess, now that I'm thinking about it, they're all real characters. They just changed the story for all of them. Which is fine.
That's Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
I was just saying I think some of it was with the pretext that they were trying to set up the DCEU. We were just talking about before we started recording, like what could have been with Carol Ferris, with like all kinds of like so many interesting things that they could have done that I feel like they were definitely teasing at.
But
anyway.
Yeah, they didn't again, we say this every movie that is not good that lands on here. It usually comes down to the execution. And this movie was not.
Yeah. It wasn't the worst. Like no. What was it on Rotten Tomatoes? Like 28, something like that.
It's like 26, I think 26%.
Yeah. It's obviously not the worst movie we've covered. And it's not even the worst movie I've seen in the last couple of weeks, probably.
Yeah.
It was watchable. It was fine. It was just very boring. Didn't need to be 2 hours.
No, you can clean the house. You can put it on the background, clean the house, come back, and don't worry. There's so much exposition that happens repeating things that you'll be like, oh, I'm all caught up again.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing too, I think that bothered me is like, this movie is, we say Kissing Booth is 80% montage. This movie is probably like 60% exposition.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't need to be.
No.
It's frustrating. But they also I think that's what bothers me is that they leaned on exposition so much and then also changed so much about the characters.
Yeah. There was like no root in like a particular comic book line. They just grabbed the characters and just like, we're going to do this planet ending, galaxy ending monster, movie. So
so frustrating.
Yeah. Clearly it was supposed to be the kickoff but since it failed so miserably, they rebooted yet again, which DC keeps rebooting over and over again. So who knows? True. They've rebooted their reboots.
At some point you just commit, I think, right?
Yeah, I think you just commit and you're like, all right, let's just try and be better. That's it.
Commit to not doing like an MCU style thing then, I guess.
Don't copy them. Just make a good movie. Just tell a good story.
The Suicide Squad was supposedly better than the first one. I didn't see it yet.
The new one with James Gunn did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Suicide Squad. Yeah, it is. It's not even in the same category as the first one, the one they rebooted. I don't know what a mess.
One that they immediately rebooted.
Like what a mess.
A year and a half later.
Did you ever watch that first one, the David Ayer one?
I've only seen like clips. I've never even watched the whole thing because
terrible.
Everyone told me how bad it was, so I was like, well, I guess I won't.
You know what? Maybe we do a little DC wrap up and we can knock that one out of the park. But I really don't want to watch a movie again. It was so bad.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably going to do Batman versus Superman someday. Like we're definitely going to get to him.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, maybe it's the DC year. We just tear him down. So that's it. Yeah. That's what we're doing. So quick info. Yep. This was directed by Martin Campbell.
Marty.
Martin Campbell, who has been in the industry for a while. He's done such hits as GoldenEye. He did Casino Royale, both great James Bond movies.
He sounds like a real asshole from like the things that I was reading. So
I think there's a lot of assholes out there, but
like he looks like a poor Jeff Bezos. He did. Like, oh no, Jeff Bezos lost all his money.
Oh no.
Oh, now you look like Martin Campbell.
Oh no, I guess I should have started selling books. So yeah, he's I mean, he did The Mask of Zorro, Edge of Darkness, which wasn't bad. And that was, your buddy Mel Gibson. That was your buddy Mel Gibson in Boston as a cop.
Yeah, Nazi Mel Gibson. Yep. It's been a minute since we've said that.
Yeah, it has been. And then before that, he was just doing a bunch of TV stuff. So he directed this monstrosity, which everyone
suspicious.
Yeah, it's not good. So screenwriter. So go ahead. What you saying?
No, I'll wait till we get to the actor section.
Okay. So who kicked off and started? Who wrote this mess? Right. These would be the folks, the team that you would be the most. I think you should have problems with here.
I saw something like they finished a draft of this in like 2005 or 2006.
So that makes sense. So there's 4 screenwriters on this, which is we've commented on many movies we've done where anytime you see 3 or more, there's clearly problems.
So we brought in an expert to try and fix it, and they ruined it more.
Yeah. 4 screenwriters, a lot of G's in all these names. So there's Greg Berlanti, Michael Green, Mark Guggenheim, and Michael Goldberg.
Oh, I like it. Yeah, a lot of G's.
Yeah, a lot of G's. So, I mean, from the top here, I think 2 of these guys are a big DC TV show, like the TV shows like Arrow and stuff like that. So Flash, Arrow.
Those are supposed to be good. I haven't watched either of them, but
like Greg Berlanti, he was heavily involved in a lot of the TV series stuff.
Oh, wait, is he involved in the new Powerpuff Girls?
Yes.
Interesting.
TV series.
There's an executive producer. Okay.
Yeah. So, but as a writer though, he's all over all of the DC Superman and Lois, the Flash, DC Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, Titans, like Arrow.
List of credits, yeah.
Huh. But all the TV stuff, and then he snuck in Green Lantern right in the middle here. They're like, you know what, this guy's been, he's
Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, he's been all over the place.
Interesting. Okay.
And the same thing with these other guys. I think there's a couple in here, but so like Michael Green, who also he's been mostly
Logan.
This blows my mind. He was one of the writers on Logan and Blade Runner 2049.
I mean, he couldn't have been the main writer on Logan, right?
No, but he was involved. There was only 2.
Logan's so good.
Yeah, screenplay. I think he wrote it with.
I'm so sad now.
With James Mangold and Scott Frank. Yeah,
like the writing is arguably the worst thing about this movie.
Hey, you learn. Hopefully, you learn and you get better. Yes. And Blade Runner 2049, which I personally loved, and Alien Covenant, he was involved in. So.
Yeah, didn't see either of those yet.
Mark Guggenheim, again, he's another DC TV guy, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, all this sort of stuff. Or no, that's different, but so.
Interesting. Yeah, what a weird crew. This guy's the one who's bringing him down.
Yeah. Yeah, Michael
Goldenberg?
Yeah.
Okay, this makes sense.
He went from...
Wait, he worked on Harry Potter?
Yeah.
What?
Contact, 1997's Contact, Peter Pan, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, and then Green Lantern. Yep.
Green Lantern was the last thing he wrote. You could tell. Yep. He was like, I have to put down the pen after this. He
solo did the Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, so I bet he came in last to fix everything.
Yeah, what?
Isn't that crazy?
That's wild.
Yeah. So total mess.
Yeah,
I think
interesting.
If there was a script that was already existing, one of these guys wrote it, and then they're like, and then trailer guys came in, they got involved, and it just turned into a mess. And like they were just trying to fix things, and
that's crazy.
Never a good sign. So
okay, well,
too many. Yeah, that's where it starts. Too many cooks in the kitchen.
All right, what do we got for actors here?
All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got Ryan Reynolds.
Yep.
We all know and love. He's playing Hal Jordan.
Yep.
Blake Lively.
What's Blake Lively famous for? Like, not this, obviously.
I do. No, I don't. I'll be honest.
Okay.
I don't know what she. I don't know what she was in before this.
Gossip Girl.
Gossip Girl.
Is that
okay? Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't like. I've seen A Simple Favor. I've seen Savages. Like I know her from that. Hick. I know her from that. But
in Traveling Pants. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Everything else, I have no idea. Oh, she was in Accepted. Okay, it was kind of early on.
Oh, that's right. Tyson was saying Accepted earlier. We were talking about it, and I was like, what did you do in Accepted?
She played Monica Moreland. Come on.
Oh, of course. I know all the characters Accepted by name.
Yeah.
To be fair, I have seen Accepted probably like 15 times. I do love that movie.
Well, we also know you have parasopophobia, what face blindness, right? Parasopophobia. Plexia.
Very, very, very mild case.
So she plays Carol Ferris. Peter Sarsgaard, one of the many Sarsgaards. He plays.
Nope. No, you can't gaslight me and do it again. This is what I was going to yell at you about.
What?
You fucked this up. He's not a Skarsgård. He's a Sarsgaard, which isn't the same.
Did I?
Yes.
Oh, there's a K missing.
Yes, this guy looks nothing like them. He's not.
I mean, come on.
So different.
No, once you end with a GARD, you're all the same, right?
Oh my God. I'm interested in what you thought.
Wait, did I say he was the Skarsgård in the trailer trash?
Yes, because I said, Peter Sarsgaard. I don't know who that is. And you said, yes, you do. He's one of the Skarsgårds. And I said, and I just kind of I believed you at the time.
Sorry, man. I apologize. You're right.
You led me astray. And then I was like, I don't think this guy is like a weird knockoff Seth Green. I was so angry. I've been waiting all week to tell you.
Gaslighting you. Jesus Christ.
But I wanted to do it here.
I know you did. I know you want to call it on the massive stage in front of everyone.
In front of all of our friends, right?
Yeah. Okay. No, you're right. I was wrong. You were correct. It's a Sarsgaard, not a Skarsgård, which
Thank you.
Bill and all the other ones, right?
Yeah. And then who the hell is this guy? Like, what has he done? You said you know him from stuff.
I knew him from The Salt and Sea, which is actually pretty good. I wouldn't have remembered that, but I do. That's a great movie. Shattered Glass. Shattered Glass. You remember that? That's with our buddy.
Nope.
Yeah, it is.
Do I?
Yeah, don't gaslight me now. Don't tell me no.
Well, I don't know if I've seen it.
Isn't Shattered Glass? Isn't that with Christian Haydenson?
Oh, Christian Hayden. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while.
Garden State. That's right. He was in Garden State.
Wait, he was Mark in Garden State?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's what I know him from.
Flight Plan. That's the one. Flight Plan is the one where he was with.
Yeah. Never saw it.
It wasn't bad actually with Jodie Foster.
Oh. Huh.
Jarhead. That's right. He was in Jarhead. I remember that one.
Yeah. Never saw it.
So yeah, Jarhead, and then that's pretty much all the ones I remember him from. And then
Night and Day. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know these other ones.
Huh.
Skeleton Key. I vaguely.
Oh wait, he was in Skeleton Key. I love Skeleton Key.
Yeah, that one I vaguely remember. So, but you're correct. He's not a Skarsgård. He's a Sarsgaard.
Yeah, he's totally different.
This whole time, I thought they were all related.
It's big news. It wasn't more to correct you, really. Other than
it was. It's okay. No, it's okay.
You'd be excited about big news.
No, it's okay. No, that's right.
70% that.
No, I know what you're doing here. I know what's going on here. Mm-hmm.
Try to make you look like an asshole.
Yep, I know. I know what you're doing here, and I'm going to keep dragging this out just to make you feel like an asshole for making me feel like an asshole.
He's 51 now.
Yeah.
Time flies, huh?
Brother-in-law, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, that's right. How bizarre.
That is bizarre, right? Peter Sarsgaard plays Hector Hammond. All right, so who else we got? So we got Mark Strong. He plays Sinestro, Sinus guy.
Did you see Anna? Speaking of Mark Strong,
Anna, the Russian assassin with a lady movie.
Oh,
that Anna?
No, not that Anna. This Anna is about a little girl who is like very smart and kind of crazy. It came out in 2016, 17. I don't know. Tace liked it and recommended it to me. We watched it for the first time the other day. 2013, Anna 2013. That's the one with Mark Strong.
Yeah, Oh, and Brian Cox. Yeah.
Yeah. He plays a he plays a I can't even say it without laughing. He plays like it's called a memory detective. And he's like, oh yeah, I can like enter your memories and we can detect stuff together. It's like the premise is kind of cool. I'm just angry at the way they did the movie, but
yeah, that's how it happens.
Okay. Anyway, where I was going with that was I'm glad that they let him keep his accent in this movie, because he tries to do an American accent in Anna, and it's
not good.
The funniest thing I've ever heard. It's so fun. Like, watch it just for that.
Oh my God. So who else we got in this? So Tim Robbins plays Hammond, Hector Hammond's dad there, Senator Hammond.
Not a character in the comics. Up for the movie.
And I completely forgot about this. Taika Waititi plays Tom Kalmaku.
Yep.
Is he a character in the comics?
I think so. But
like, he's got to be Hal's like best bud or whatever. I mean, that's what he plays.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think I said in the trailer trash, I'm not a huge Hal Jordan guy. I'm more of a Kyle Rayner guy.
Okay.
As far as Green Lanterns go, but.
And then rounding out the cast, we got Angela Bassett. She plays Dr. Amanda Waller, which, little fun fact here, Amanda Waller does exist in the universe still, in the Suicide Squad, played by Viola Davis.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Amanda Waller. Yep. She's in the Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad.
Huh.
She plays kind of like the villain in that.
Why'd they replace Angela? I guess Angela Bassett didn't want to be in it, maybe.
Probably not. I mean, yeah, it was also like 10 years ago. So
fair.
And then rounding out the cast is Griff First, our boy. Griff First.
Okay, who's this?
He plays the UCAV operator number 1.
Oh, Griff First. Yeah.
Do you remember him? Yeah, yep. He played EMT number 1 in Selfless.
Really? No way. Oh, that's wild. That's funny.
I was scrolling through my usual who else is in this, and I came across his name. I was like, I remember that name. He was in Selfless. So
yeah. Huh. That's funny.
So yeah, that's everyone that's in this movie that's important. And so we've corrected.
Sorry, I was just looking up Kalmaku briefly, Tom Kalmaku, because I was trying to remind myself. And I was like, why don't I know him? And I was like, oh, right, because in the original comics, they just called him Pie Face, and it's like pretty racist because he's like a native, like a Alaskan native kind of thing, I think, right? Either way, it's like it was an offensive nickname in 1960, and that's why I was like, oh, why don't I know this character?
Well, maybe then it wasn't, but it was, but they didn't.
Well, no, they called him Pie Face, like because of like Eskimo pie kind of thing, which is, I think, in itself offensive. So anyway, that's why. But yeah, I guess you're right. In 1960, probably people didn't have.
They're like, oh, whatever, that's funny. Ha ha ha.
I'm sure, like,
no one's feelings are being hurt.
Oh.
All right, so there you go. There's all the actors in this movie, and so we learned a lot. Peter Sarsgaard is not Peter Skarsgård,
or who doesn't exist.
Or really, yeah, he does. Peter Skarsgård does not exist. So, there you go.
Well, or it could be like Stalin Skarsgård, the lesser known
Stalin Skarsgård.
Nope, Stalin.
Oh, no, Stalin Skarsgård. Okay.
Yes, Stalin's older brother, Stalin.
All right, rounding out this so we can.
Yeah, talk money to me.
Fucking budget. This movie worldwide made $219 million.
That's too many dollars.
But not enough.
No. Fun fact, that's 69,000 fanatics. Nice.
Nice. So many fanatics. Domestic video sales, 45 million, another 45 million on top of that.
Wild.
Yeah. That 219 was pretty split between international and domestic. I think international was a little bit higher, but not by much.
Huh.
Now, this was all done on a budget of approximately $200 million.
I think what's insane to me is that this ended up being profitable. Like, how did...
I mean, not really, though.
Well, wait, you get 219 plus 45? That's way more than 200 million.
Yeah, but overall, marketing budget was probably about $100 million for this movie. This movie was everywhere.
Oh, you don't think that's included in the
No,
200?
I think this was just the budget. Yeah, this is strictly the budget. I don't
Production
think that was
budget. Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. I thought that might have included marketing and promotions. Either way, that's wild. I'm glad it didn't make money if it didn't.
Yeah, right. Time for Hollywood pitches. So why don't you pitch me, motherfucker?
Perfect, as always.
How was that? That was good. You like that?
Yeah, that was good. Okay. All right. Well, so for me, this one was a no-brainer. I feel like I'm not going to be as creative as I usually am, but 2017's Life. I don't know if you saw that. Well, sci-fi flick for you there.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yep.
I did not like it.
Fair. That seems reasonable. Meets Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. So I think you probably know where I'm going with that one too, I bet.
I can see it.
For Life, it's got Ryan Reynolds in it.
Mm-hmm.
And also Jake Gyllenhaal, who is the brother-in-law of Peter Sarsgaard, right?
Yep, SARS, not scars.
Right, that's right.
Okay.
So first of all, it's already got a double connection. Then, not only that, but a different character that's neither of them is an exobiologist, which is also what's his face, Hector Hammond in the movie. Yep. Not only that, but this exobiologist in the movie Life is also in a wheelchair, just like Hector Hammond by the end of this movie. Okay. All right. Okay. Keep going. And this, I guess this movie is mostly about Hector Hammond. And you kind of think he's a main character that's going to be important based on the way the movie leads you to think that. But then also dies way before the end. Okay. All right. Yeah. I was just trying to, like, they have very similar details and plot points, right? Sure. Come on. Yeah, no, yeah, sure. Scientists, okay. Yeah. Keep going. Meets Superman 4. And this one is like, I guess we'll get a little bit wishful thinking. That's right, A Quest for Peace. First of all, awful movie. Everyone, I hope, knows that, right? Yeah, it's not a good movie. Like, could be on ITMT, like one of the worst movies ever. We could do this movie. It's landed at 10% on the Rotten Tomatoes, so. Yeah, it's real bad. Yeah. Okay. Real bad. Yeah. So anyway, this movie kind of starts where our movie, The Green Lantern, ended. Right? Like, oh, take your biggest enemy, which in 1987 was nuclear war, and throw it into the sun. Obviously, it's got Lex Luthor, which I feel like every superhero movie has to have a good, rich, bad guy. And I feel like Senator Hammond's kind of a rich bad guy in our movie, and also the elder Ferris also seems like kind of a rich bad guy. Yep. Okay. Right. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So they've got that. They've got no connection to Superman in the comics, just like Green Lantern. No connection to Green Lantern in the comics. Right. Like, this story only happened because Christopher Reeve was like, I don't want to do another Superman movie. And they were like, what if we give you a bucket of money and nuclear war? We can make it about whatever you want. He was like, guys, you know what I'm real hot on right now? Anti-proliferation. And they were like, what? I thought you were going to say horses. We're going to make Superman fight a horse. Really? Well, too soon. Nope. Too soon. This happened 8 years before that. Anyway. So Nuclear Man becomes the main villain besides Lex Luthor, right? Destroy Superman. That's all I remember him saying. Is Nuclear Man in the comics? Probably. That's a pretty, yeah. If he is, I imagine it's like Parallax, where they give the story nothing like the actual story. Nuclear Man. I don't know. This might be, he's in there. Oh yeah. Okay. I'll buy it. I'll buy that for 100. There he is. Oh, thank you for reminding me. Yeah, no problem. He's got super speed, super strength, super durability, And I think that's it. Anyway, so what do you got? Pitch me. All right, I definitely went more wishful thinking and no connection at all to comic books or anyone actors in any of these movies. So okay, I went with it's Top Gun meets Training Day. Okay, yeah, I can definitely see Top Gun very easily. Yeah, but
I mean, this is pretty easy, right? So Top Gun, obviously we've got a cocky maverick pilot here, Hal Jordan, big time jet guy, flying F-35s, doing his thing.
Big time jet boy. Yep.
Big time jet boy. A little bit cocky, kind of doing flybys, doing whatever he wants, So taking that, minus all the volleyball scenes, throwing it with meets training day. Now, training day is about a rookie, right, on his first day with a veteran cop who's kind of a little rogue. You're not sure if he's good, bad, what his deal is. He does some shady stuff, but it's, the tactics he's taking, are they the right moves to kind of maneuver around the narcotics, the drug world, and the crime world, right? Like he's shady, right?
I'm picking up what you're throwing down.
I think you're getting it now. So now there is a good chunk of Green Lantern where it's kind of training day. Hal Jordan is a rookie.
That's true.
And Sinestro, do we know what his motivations are? Like
kind of a hard-boiled, about to retire, maybe not on the up and up. Corruption,
not on the up and up. Like he's the guy who's like, hey guys, I got an idea. Why don't we make a ring of fear so we can fight fear with fear?
Yeah, I don't know how this could go poorly.
And then that was the moment when the movie, they were like, oh, the council was like, wait a second, his name isn't Sinestro, it's Sinestro. Oh no.
Oh no. Hoisted by our own petard.
And then at the end, we get Hal Jordan, like Ethan was a hawk in that movie. Kind of overcomes the veteran, potentially rogue cop, and
Yep.
And there's the whole thing that the Green Lantern Corps, intergalactic police department, basically.
Yeah, that's right. So you basically did Green Lantern 2, like what the sequel would have been had there been one.
Yeah, kind of. I guess kind of, but the second one would have just been Sinestro being Mr. Villain, though, I think.
Oh, I guess you're right. They did kind of lead it that way, huh?
Yeah, there was no he would have been straight up villain and wouldn't have had the badge of the Green Lantern Police Corps. They would have been like, yeah, dude, you're...
Well, he's got his Sinestro Corps logo there.
Yeah, so that's it. That's where I'm going with that. So
that's a good one. Nice job. Good job, us. We're having a good podcast today.
This is. I think we're doing so
Leave
well.
all this in. Yeah. I think I complimented us earlier and said, yeah, we're doing a good podcast today.
Yeah. All right. So fast facts. There is a ton for this movie because it's been out forever, and
yes,
people just
also
love.
Long.
Yeah, there's so many words. Why do you have to write so much? So we handpicked all the ones that we like, and we're probably going to reword them to make them,
shorter.
The way we like it.
Ideally, slightly faster.
I feel like we say this all the time, and it never happens. But go for it.
That's true. One of the lines that I called out while watching the movie that I didn't think was funny, well, I guess it was kind of funny, was when Carol, Blake Lively's character, says, "You think I wouldn't recognize you because you covered your cheekbones?" Which is fair. Like that's one of my biggest criticisms of the Green Lantern costume
it's pretty bad.
How do you not know it's Hal Jordan?
Yeah.
If that's a goal, is to protect your identity. Anyway, apparently that was ad-libbed by Blake Lively. And you were right in Trailer Trash when you said that they met on this film, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. This was their meet cute.
Yep.
And they get married apparently a year later.
Crushing it.
Right quick.
Yeah. I mean, when you know, right?
Another thing that we brought up in the Trailer Trash, speaking of Green Lantern, was like, why does Abin travel in a spaceship?
We did.
I didn't remember, or I don't know. Like I said, I haven't read a ton of Hal Jordan comics. In Green Lantern, apparently it's also like pretty variable. Like he does use a spaceship, and then people are like, there is like they do make reasoning because other people ask the same question. Why wouldn't you just use your power ring? No. Some people say it's to save the battery, which is kind of funny.
That's right, because it's energy, right? And they got to store it. Okay.
And some people say that there's a prophecy where like someday your ring will fail you, is what he's been told. And so he's like a little extra cautious of, I don't want this to be the time it fails me and I'm floating out in space, right?
That would suck.
But anyways, yeah, he also in this movie flies in a spaceship. Interesting for a Green Lantern to do. I'm glad they carried that through. Now, we already said Martin Campbell's an asshole. Ryan Reynolds also thinks that. And apparently
we're going to side with Ryan on this one.
Oh, we're definitely siding with Ryan Reynolds. Fuck you if you want to be on the podcast. You're more than welcome here. Martin Campbell, not so much. Anyway, Martin Campbell, if you want to be on the podcast, fuck you too.
Right. Everyone gets invited. Everyone gets to have their say.
Apparently, he's like very vocal about his preferred Green Lantern, Bradley Cooper, which seems weird to me.
I mean,
I could see it.
He would have been. I think Bradley Cooper would have been fine.
It wouldn't have been as funny.
I don't know. He could do funny. He could do comedy. I think Bradley Cooper could have pulled it off.
Yeah, I think he could do better than some of the other people they floated here. But yeah. Anyway, apparently he made it very known that he did not wanted Bradley Cooper.
Yeah. And he didn't want Ryan Reynolds.
Like, right.
Yeah.
And made him do a million takes. Really bad experience. Ryan Reynolds was like really excited that the film failed because he didn't want to do it again.
Yeah.
Something else. So this is what I kind of was getting at earlier, where if they were trying to set up the DCEU here, it could have been cool. Like Carol Ferris is Star Sapphire, right? Later on.
Yep.
And so like they brought in some of that stuff in the movie, in our movie, where they like had the Star Sapphire logo. They did a couple, like that was her call sign when they were flying Sapphire. They alluded to it a bunch.
Good catch. Didn't catch that.
And it'll probably never happen again. Like she won't be Sapphire because the movie stopped.
Yeah. Reboot.
This is just a poor Temuera Morrison. But apparently it took like 4 to 5 hours to apply the prosthetic makeup.
So this one's like kind of infuriating too, because was he the only one that had to wear actual practical makeup? Because
I think so. Yeah.
The rest of it was all CG'd.
Yeah. So brutal.
Oh my God.
Well, no. Oh, that's not true. They did do a bunch of prosthetic stuff for Hector Hammond too.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Okay. They did. Okay.
But outside of the two of them, no, you're right.
He's no good to me, dead.
Yeah. And also, at least Hector Hammond was in the movie for, I don't know, half an hour, whereas Temuera Morrison's in the movie for maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, maybe. And I mean, I think the whole opening was just probably all CG stuff. And then when him on the ground, he was probably like,
Yeah, infuriating.
Oh my God. Boba Fett.
Poor Boba Fett. Anyway, so Peter Sarsgaard, speaking of Hector Hammond, described the character of Hector Hammond as an expression of what he keeps inside. And this is his quote. He's the kid that licked a battery or went on the roof during a thunderstorm with a coat hanger. I was like,
I mean,
what? Why are you so weird? Like, you're clearly not a Skarsgård.
Just gonna say this.
Speaking of things that I would love to have heard the end of, Quentin Tarantino was considered to direct the film, which baffles me.
No, that can't be.
I think that's real.
That's like rumor mill. Why would he? I mean, he's a big comic book guy and he's a big DC Superman guy. I think that's right.
Like, because they asked Kevin Smith to do a bunch of stuff for it too. Like that. Like I think they were kind of going around to like people who are known for liking comic books, and I think rightfully so. All those people said, "What?" No.
Yeah.
But I thought that was interesting.
I would have taken it. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not a huge, I don't know. I've got a weird thing with Kevin Smith, but I would have taken a Kevin Smith movie version of this over, I think.
I agree. I think that would have been good.
It would have been
funny.
It would have been more, it would have been definitely way more faithful to comic book storylines.
Yes, that
I
too.
think. And
great point.
Which at the end of the day, like if that's what you're making this movie for, like you would have gotten a better version of that, or this was just a mess.
Well, I think the difference would have been, I think they would have had to have him write and direct, I think.
Yeah.
And I think he would have maybe still tried to get Ryan Reynolds, but I think he would have gone for a Kyle Rayner Green Lantern instead of Hal Jordan, because Kyle Rayner Green Lantern is a comic book artist.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would be this kind of story that I think Kevin Smith would really. Anyway, we're just projecting on Kevin Smith, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah.
Speaking of Martin Campbell being a piece of shit.
Jesus, you don't know.
No, I hate Martin Campbell.
But I feel like I know him because all these things I've read on the internet.
Right. Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. Like this, for example, made me dislike him more. So apparently the visual influences for the parallax design was 9/11.
What?
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 Yeah, he's like, yeah, this is a quote from him. The images of those massive dust clouds coming down the streets from the collapsing World Trade Center, like directly associated with terror.
I mean,
yes, but and even if that is what your actual influence is, don't say it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't like. I mean, I get it, but that's a nugget you just keep in your own mind of like how you're thinking of you want this to be terrifying, which
we'll get it. The audience will get it.
It's also like it's a comic book movie, dude, and it's also a movie, and it's all make believe, and it's also
Yes.
Okay.
So that's one thing that made me hate him.
All right, I definitely don't like him.
The next thing that made me hate him was that he described the film's action as knife fights in a phone booth, which is quick and fast and dirty and big, grand, sweeping movements. And I was like, you can't have all of those things in one sentence. Those are all contradictions.
All right. Yeah, that sounds like a pretentious asshole who actually doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yes, exactly. Okay. And then my last one is not a fast fact, but this is, I want to call it out again. I'm calling out all of you who go out there and you edit IMDb and you add in your trivia. Stop doing stupid stuff. This is the foreshadowed thing all over again. Longtime listeners of ITMT will know that the joke that we do now where we say, oh, it's a foreshadowed, is from an IMDb trivia where someone is being stupid and just saying something that's in the movie. Apparently Hector Hammond screams 7 times in the movie. That's not a fact. Like, that's not a trivia. You just counted things that happened in the movie.
It's just stupid. But I was thinking about it in the movie.
What? How?
I was like, man, all he's doing is just screaming in this movie.
I guess that's fair.
But
only 7 times.
Just felt like so much more because it was just so enthralling.
Fast facts.
And that's fast facts. Do. All right. Well, I guess let's should we get into it?
So we got our green logos, very festive for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, happy St. Patty's Day in the past, future, present.
That's right. The once and future St. Patrick's Day. Warner Brothers, classic. DC Comics, classic. Tale as old as time. And then we start with the too much exposition.
The first round of like the movie literally starts on exposition. That's not a good sign.
Billions of years ago, race of immortals. Like, are you doing a bit?
I mean, yes.
Don't lantern explain this whole thing to me.
Is this a Carl Sagan thing? Billions upon billions upon billions of years ago. Like the movie starts and goes for, I think this is like a 3 to 4 minute long voiceover exposition as we're traveling through space, right?
Yep. We talk about the sector, how the Green Lanterns all have different sectors. We talk about how the rings choose the recruits.
They even talk about Parallax. They even talk about our villain Parallax.
That's right.
What else? Anything else we got in there?
No, I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And then
in between is the title card.
Yeah, and it rolls in like Green Lantern.
That's the Green Lantern theme.
Nailed it. And then continuing about Parallax, talking about fear. Fear is a constant reminder throughout this entire movie because obviously that's a core thing for Green Lantern.
Which that is like the big difference. One of the big differences, anyways. In the they explain it later in the movie. We'll get to it, but Parallax is just fear. Like is just fear kind of manifest that then takes hosts. It's like a parasite.
Yeah, he just like sucks like the parasite. Souls and it just right.
I'm saying in the comics, not really. In the comics, he's like a sweet warrior kind of thing that feeds. I mean, that also feeds on fear, but is a parasite. Like needs a host form. So like Parallax is embodied in a bunch of different characters, including Hal Jordan, over the universe's history.
Right, he's just collecting them, and they're all part of what continues to make him bigger, right? Like
no, like that's what I'm saying. Like he is Hal Jordan. Like he's inside of Hal Jordan. Like if you look at like in like comics Parallax, it's like a dude. Because it's just like it is fear and it just inhabits the bodies of others, and then he makes them do bad things. So like when Parallax is inhabiting Hal Jordan, that's when Hal Jordan like goes and kills a bunch of the Guardians and like half the Green Lantern Corps. Like Hal Jordan goes bananas when he's taken over by Parallax.
Yeah, Hal Jordan becomes Parallax. Yeah, okay. 1994. Yeah. Okay.
And so like it's a person who like does like, and then they do Kyle Rayner later on becomes Parallax briefly. They kind of start with it on the right track of like, oh, he's a creature of fear. Like that's true, but he's not like an old guardian. That's what it's like. It's not the same way they.
Yeah, I mean, so what they did though, so those versions of the comics it was like Hal Jordan or other characters that end up becoming Green Lantern, but they become Parallax at some point.
Parallax like swoops into their body.
Yeah. Exactly. So they kind of do that in the opening of this, right? But like you said, they don't do. Parallax took over, swooped into a body of the Guardian. But even the Guardian, like he went into like the life of fucking Ring of Life or something, and then
and they make him into like a big smoke monster.
Yeah, and they're like he was trying to explore fear, right? And he was just like, oh, I want to know what's going on in here, and then that's when Parallax like kind of absorbs him, and then he kind of gets trapped inside. Okay, well, we'll get there. Yeah, because anyway, they literally exposition about it in 2 minutes, and then again later in the movie. So
it's like it's close enough. Like what they did, like realistically, comic book storylines are never. Or not usually 100% faithful. Yeah. What they did is like close enough for the sake of the movie. It just makes me mad because it could have been a cool story. Like they had, again, getting way ahead of ourselves. They throw Parallax into the sun at the end of the movie. Hal Jordan does, and presumably removes the opportunity later to have a cool Parallax inhabits Hal Jordan story like the comics.
Yeah. I can see why
they squandered it.
Yeah, I mean, for I think the hardcore fans, maybe that would have made sense. But I think for like a moviegoer, maybe they wouldn't have. They've been like, "What? What is happening right now?" But you can, if you know what you're doing, you know how to handle that correctly. Anyways, all right. So
I agree.
So we get all this exposition about the entire universe, Green Lantern Corps, blah blah blah, Parallax. This is the first round. Yep, and they keep doing this multiple times, and then we get into kind of like we're zooming into space here. We land on a planet where
the Lost Sector.
Yeah, Lost Sector, and there's a crashed spaceship, and I don't know if these creatures or aliens or anyone in particular, but they're just suited up aliens, and they are running across the planet, and they fall through, and they land.
I think they're Lantern Corps. I think they're lanterns.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't think they were because they were actually like suited up.
Yeah, well, because then when they get into the fight, like they do try to do some power ring stuff.
Oh, did they? Oh, okay. I thought they just got. I thought they just got lit up.
They did. I mean, they did. But they are, because I think these are later on when Sinestro is talking about, like, he got 4 of our crew. He's counting these 3 guys and Abin Sur, I think, is like,
yes, you're right.
As the 4. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Nope.
It's frustrating.
No,
because you're right. They show up and they get shredded immediately. In like 1 second.
But they just like fall through this planet's like crust or whatever and fall into this chamber. And then you see one of the Mars Attacks aliens kind of hanging out there like in a green tomb, which you'd think would be like obviously Green Lantern prison type of thing.
Yep.
And then it just starts cracking open. He's just like, fear, good, and just smokes these 4, just sucks the souls or life out of them, sucks all the yellow fear out of them or whatever. So, and they just drop as skeletons. Busts
out of his lantern jail and fires off into space.
Now, we should comment. So this is 2011. Mm-hmm. Like, trying to think off the top of my head, like what other movies were out at this time, but this CG is not good.
Oh, it's atrocious. I mean, well, like you said, Iron Man came out 3 years before this.
2008, and it was so much better.
So much. What was the budget on Iron Man? Do you remember? It was probably comparable. It was probably a couple $100 million because the CG was so good.
185 million, 186 million.
Okay, yeah. So that's right up there.
Yeah.
But like, and that looked so good comparatively.
Yes.
So it's possible. We know it's possible. And like I said, an Avatar had come out, like a huge achievement in 3D and CGI. Looks amazing.
Say what you will about that movie, if you like it or don't.
The story stinks.
It's terrible. Whatever, it's terrible. But like, it looked awesome. Like,
yeah, that's why you see it, because it looked cool. All of these come out already, so this is a huge, colossal failure of CGI.
Yeah, big time. So, but this all looks terrible, and we get the Mars Attacks alien, the Guardian. He breaks free. And we'll understand much later on, again, with more exposition about who this little guy is, but you can kind of piece it all together as we go.
Yeah. Then we get 6 months later.
Yeah.
Which I guess I appreciate that it takes time to travel through space, but stupid.
So we get, this is Abin Sur, right? And he is, that's played by Temuera Morrison. And him and Sinestro having a little hologram Zoom chat.
Which Temuera Morrison, besides Ryan Reynolds is like probably the best actor in this movie. Right? Like Temuera Morrison's a good actor, I think.
Yeah, well, what's crazy is that actually all the other actors are good actors, but they weren't in this. Like Mark Strong's a good actor, other than trying to do American accents.
Fair, yes, that's
Peter Sarsgaard. He is a good. I mean, I think he's a good actor, but he just wasn't. I mean, it was just
it's a caricature. Yeah. In this movie, that's fair. That's fair. But Temuera Morrison is doing a good performance.
I thought so too. I agree. So him and Sinestro here, Sinestro, because he's not Sinestro yet. He's Sinus guy. They're having a little Zoom chat. Sinestro is like, he says someone died. I forget. I didn't catch who he said, but he was just like, oh, someone's died and blah 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 blah. There's no longer an evacuation because Parallax is coming into town.
He's on the hunt,
and then Parallax shows up, and basically him and Eben Sur kind of have a little
duel. Takes a hit. Duel.
Yeah, I mean, Eben Sur takes a hit, and then he's just
makes way more sense than the way they position this in the trailer. Like whoever cut the trailer is an idiot because in the trailer they made it look like he got into his spacecraft and then flew that into the dirt in Earth, and like that was what. Like I'm sure I get that you have to make a quick cut, but like don't make it so misleading. What actually happens is it's an escape pod off of his bigger ship. Yeah. Like and he's injured. He's gravely injured. Yeah. And gets in an escape pod and then crash on it. Like, of course, that makes way more sense.
Yeah. So like trailer was totally misleading in terms of like, oh, it looks like he's going to Earth to find someone to give the ring to. And then is a shitty pilot and crashes.
Yes. So stupid. So frustrating.
Oh my God.
And so then, this is when Tice reminded me that I needed to yell at you about Peter Sarsgaard if I hadn't already.
It's fair. I take that heat. I messed up. I fucked up.
That's okay. And
sorry. Next time I gaslight you in the future, I'll do better.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey man, it's not gaslighting if you believe it's true, right?
Yeah. And it's not
Isn't
like
that how it works.
It's
gaslighting
also
intentionally misleading me. You didn't intentionally mislead me.
Yeah, gaslighting is like I'm intentionally trying to like emotionally manipulate you. Like, so now I fucked up and I just talked over you. That's all it is.
Yeah. I appreciate that. And I trusted you. You
did trust me because you know what? Yeah, I trust
usually
myself.
You know
too.
What you're talking about. Yeah,
I usually know what you're talking about. 99.9% of the time I do.
Well,
that's what.
So then we can just end this scene. It cuts to now we're in bed with Ryan Reynolds.
I mean,
there are worse places to be.
So then, this is how we were introduced to our hero. Hal Jordan, right? He's waking up. Well, he's late. He's late. He's waking up with a woman in his bed who looks like she was like airbrushed. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know, like there was also this weird sheen across this entire movie for like even Blake Lively had like this weird soft, like it looked like they just
it's like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit scenario. Wait, is this a cartoon? Yes.
Well, I'm like, yes. It's kind of, well, then you think like, well, was Martin Campbell thinking like, let's try to amp this up to feel like a drawn comic book, but I don't know. I'm giving too much credit.
No, I don't think I think you're giving the right amount of credit in that Martin Campbell fucked this movie up. Yeah. Really bad. Like, because like, that fast fact that I didn't include, but like, he's the one who really fought apparently for the CGI suit. The Green Lantern suit that we see later that we're going to complain about.
Yep.
They're like, we can't just show some guy in a latex suit. Like that's been done. They're like, no, it has to be an energy suit from CGI, of course.
We have the technology. We have the power.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
you didn't.
No, you didn't. So we meet Hal Jordan. He's with the lady. Alarm goes off. Oh shit! Or it doesn't go off. Whatever. He's running late because clearly he's a hothead, but he's so good at what he does. It doesn't matter if he shows up late. So he's running out of his. So he's running out of his sweet ass apartment, which no one can afford.
Nope.
Has a little funny Ryan Reynolds moment, telling her like, "Hey, I gotta go. There's water in the tap."
Yeah, hilarious.
Great line.
So then he's in the car driving irresponsibly to his work and decides like to wrap a present while he's also driving that almost definitely gets him in an accident. And then they show that he's like a real asshole when he says asshole about the guy that he almost crashed into.
Yeah, and it's kind of to show he's also, I guess, to show that he's quick in his hands and he's, Mr. Speed. He's in,
Yeah, sure.
He's got an awesome, fast hot rod car and he's cruising around and doing, it's like, oh yeah, he's a little hot headed and he's doing whatever he wants and he's kind of a rebel. He's a real maverick, if you will.
Yeah, but for the record, he does a very bad job of wrapping that present.
A terrible job because, like, why are you rushing to do this? Because, like, you have time. It's really annoying.
Yeah,
because where he's
that's
headed,
actually a great call out. He has so much time that he could have done this.
Because where he's headed is not the party.
No, he's going to work.
He's going to work.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That's so frustrating,
right?
I'm way angrier now.
Yeah, because when he shows up, I was like, "Why was
that?" Yeah.
I was like, "Why is he wrapping this gift while he's driving a car like in some crazy rush?" It's like, and he gets to he's like, "Oh, he's just going to work."
Yeah, they have that stupid meeting before he even goes to the party. Like, he had so much time. He could have stood in the parking lot in the backseat of his car, wrapped the present in 5 minutes, and
there was totally zero need for that to even happen. They could have cut out him wrapping a gift. They could have just had him like driving like an asshole, but then like controlled, like, and you could show him like, oh, he's a hide, but he's just cranking on the street, and like.
I'm so much angrier now.
There's so much stuff that could have cut in the first 10 minutes of this movie. Like, we know the whole opening we didn't even need. He could have just cut right to this. Him waking up and being late for work. All right, so we get to we get to Ferris or Ferris Bueller's house, Ferris Bueller Aeronautical.
Ferris Air, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like a defense contractor, basically, right?
Yeah, we're not the Air Force like we were saying in the trailer trash. It's
I mean, they're equivalent to Stark Industries, aren't they?
Private company. Yeah, exactly. Yep, military contractor, Raytheon, if you will. Go buy some knife missiles from Raytheon. They won't bomb that school bus full of children.
Okay, all right. So
they will, though. They will do those things. Yeah,
their slogan is, "We know the difference between children and enemies."
Mm-hmm. They don't, though.
It's all in the marketing now.
I guess it's in who's using it. You can't blame the gun, right?
Right. Yeah, I know. It's like, okay, there's all the data. All right, so we get to the Ferris wheel here, Ferris wheel, and we're at the hangar, and it is like a test run. It's a test pilot. So we're basically having the two drones versus two real life pilots. Hal Jordan's one of them. Carol Ferris is the other one. Obviously, she's the daughter of the guy who owns the company. Right.
Yep.
And they're looking to get this contract from the government and being like, "Hey, we can." They're not. Right. Are they actually making the drones? No. Yes. Right.
Yeah. Ferris is. Ferris Air is making the. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was so confused. Like, wait, what? Okay. And then Carol rips on him. They're in the locker room, and she's like, "Hey, you're late again. You're always late."
Yep. This is our intro to Blake Lively's character, Carol. It seems like she's also a pilot.
Yes. Yep. She is. And and clearly but you get the sense that she's also the voice of, balance for him.
They have history.
They have history. Yep. And the whole plan is that they're going to be two pilots going up against some, testing the drones. So
they're the two best pilots in whatever. So now they're flying. Not sure what they're trying to accomplish here. So I was like, wait, are they going to blow up these probably expensive drone planes?
The whole operation is in the hundreds of millions.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think they're a bargain. Oh, okay. Up to 37 million a piece.
How much is an F-30 and F-35?
For the Navy version. That's expensive.
Oh yeah. For the Navy version.
The generic costs 178. All right. There we go.
Okay. All right. Yeah. There we go. A single. Yeah. Okay. All right. We're in the range of anywhere from 150 to 350 $million.
Jesus Christ!
I'm glad they can nail down the price here. Like, really?
Me too. Well, because we have Raytheon to thank.
So, anyways, we're looking at shooting down 150 to 300 $million planes. I was a little confused too. I thought someone's gonna get shot, but no, it's just like a game. I guess they're just gonna.
Yeah, it seems like a simulation. I guess.
Yeah. The whole scene was pretty much ripped out of Iron Man meets another movie. Anyways, so.
From the pod racing scene of episode 1.
Yes. Or the canyon chase scene in Independence Day.
Ooh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. So then we get the reveal that their call signs are Sapphire and Highball, which was like Highball is kind of a sweet call sign. Nice.
That's a fun one.
And then he pulls up and tries to get behind the drones because he's using Carol as a decoy. Savvy move.
Yeah. So they're doing a whole dogfight thing with these things, the drones are kind of getting out. We also, this is where we meet Tom, the best friend, Taika Waititi.
Right. Yep.
Anyways, we get some Top Gun action, but yes. So there, he sacrifices his wing person.
Yep. His wing Carol,
and she gets taken out, and he disappears, comes back in, floats in, and
yep. So he then decides he's going to go somewhere that we can't fly, because that's how he's going to actually defeat these drones.
Yes.
So he gets them up over 50,000 feet in the air, where they are all going to stall.
Yeah.
Which like this.
Yeah.
This is when we get Taika Waititi's character there celebrating in his chair when he's like, I don't know, like he's gonna do something crazy. And everyone's like, we shouldn't be like, this is really dangerous. So I was gonna say, on the way down, after they all stall, he does destroy, simulate destroy, but I think also actually destroys the drones, which again, somewhere between 150, $350 million.
Drones themselves probably more, right? Yeah.
Probably more, I would assume, on the higher end. Yeah.
This whole operation's more money than this movie made. So,
yeah. And then they're on their way down. He's on his way down, trying to regain control here.
And this was a mess.
Yeah, he's not doing great. And then we get flashbacks in the middle. We're about to watch his dad explode, which is funny.
These flashbacks happen a couple times, or like at least one more time throughout the movie, but
yeah,
it's so weird. Like, I mean, yeah, when he's having a flashback of his life, but the thing he's remembering is his father dying in a plane crash.
Yep.
And
because he's also about to die in a plane crash.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get it, but it's also, I don't know. It was very,
yes, I know what you mean.
Very strange. It was very strange. Yeah. It
doesn't add much to the story either. Like, we don't need to know that his dad.
You're right.
We don't need to know that at all. Like you said earlier, you could cut 45 minutes from this movie easily.
You're right. There is nothing other than him saying to his nephew later on that, like, it's my job to, not be afraid. Or like
his brother-in-law maybe, or someone saying like, what, do you want to die like him?
Yeah, you're right. All that could be, there's no need for it.
Nope.
It plays no part later on in the movie.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah. Cut half this movie, please.
We should have done an edit of it. Probably made it better. All right. So yeah, he's having a flashback of his dad, and we see the accident. His dad, it's so weird too. There's like the kid's like the dad like crashed a plane, and the kid's like running out, and
he's like, I made it.
Thing just explode. And we get a blast push of tiny Hal Jordan. He's like, whoa.
Well, because he was within a couple 100 feet, I guess. Like, it's pretty funny.
It is. I was like, this is terrible. Mm-hmm. But it was more commentary about the fear, and that's what the Green Lanterns care about. Blah blah. Right. So
you're not scared, are you, Dad? Let's just say it's my job not to be, son.
Yeah. He basically watched his dad explode, but we flash back now to him still in the plane. Deciding
not to explode and ejects from his plane, like justifiably, because he's way out of control.
Jesus Christ.
But also just threw away like $150 million. So,
all right. So now we're post test chat, right? The guys in the office there are like, see, told you, man-made can do it, right? Man-powered. It's all about man-powered.
I knew my pilots would get the job done.
They always do, even if I can't, or they can't, So yeah, we get that, and then we jump into the post-test chat. We're in Carol's office here. Everyone's pissed at Hal because he's just, and then he goes on being like, "Well, I'm here to test the system to push it." Ah.
Yeah, everyone's like, "You just wrecked a brand new F-35.
You're a big risk, Maverick. You're a liability. I don't like you.
You're a loose cannon who doesn't play by the rules."
Yeah. Let me say other things that make you sound so much more rogue than you are.
Mm-hmm.
Let me explain your character to everyone in this room.
Yeah. And Carol's dad goes, "You're fired." and then Carol goes, "Well, no, he's not fired. He's just on investigation." Right. Suspended. And then everyone's like, "Okay, yeah, right. There are no consequences."
Yeah. But we do get Bob, who the fuck is Bob? Who gives a shit about Bob? Bob shows up later, but
yeah, this is the foreshadowed.
This is definitely this is an A foreshadowed. Bob,
right.
Was Bob in the room? I don't even know who Bob was. Who is?
Yeah,
Bob?
he was just he's like Mr. Ferris's number 2 guy, I think.
Okay, and Bob's like, "Hey man, I don't like you. You can't be my wingman anytime."
weird because weird for what happens later because Bob seems like he's an executive.
Right.
Like I don't really understand.
No, the Bob characters make
Bob's like VP of marketing. Like,
yeah, right.
I don't get it.
He's like, hey man, you're a liability. And he's like, you better watch your back.
Yeah. And we get a nice Ryan Reynolds quip. That's impossible, Bob.
Not wrong.
This is when Hal starts yelling at Carol for wanting a desk job because she's a pilot and she should know what that's like, that she should want to fly stuff.
But she's on the business side, but she's like, yeah, I can still pilot if I need to, and that's no excuse for whatever.
It doesn't have to be so extreme. It could be either or.
And I was actually thinking, I was like, oh man, I kind of at this point I was like, I forget how she ends up being a part toward, how important she is towards the end. But I was like, I wonder if this is a foreshadow of her doing something. She kind of does.
Well, this is when she says, this is when the first time we get like a better look at their relationship of like,
yes,
she doesn't want to see someone she cares about get hurt, which apparently is him.
Yep.
Which is stupid, but.
And then we cut to the Ebenser crash site here in Coast City, right in the water there in the swamp-ish area. Not really a swamp, it's just fucking water. Mm-hmm. And then he's just like, hey, he tells the ringers like, go find someone worthy or something. I don't know, like what? Yeah.
He's like, choose well.
It's like, this is the stupidest scene. Why are we showing this?
Also, we'll get to it in a minute. Like this scene drove me extra nuts because this is like the morning when he crashes.
Yeah, there's a huge time problem in this movie.
Yes.
There's a massive time problem in this movie. He's just been hanging out. He's going to be hanging out here for a while. So
yeah. So then we're driving around with Hal again. In between, he's had plenty of time to rewrap this present, which he knows he's done a shitty job on.
He could have taken 2 minutes after that conversation, after the post-meeting chat, and been like, hey,
right,
I'm going to wrap my gift real quick.
Ugh. And instead, whatever. He pulls up to the birthday boy's house.
Parks like an asshole onto the curb, onto the sidewalk.
Yep. And then, of course, because this movie is, again, 60% exposition, we have a news broadcast as soon as we walk into the house, which, like, I have so many questions about this. Like, why is a private company flight test on the news in the first place? Like,
yeah, right? Yeah. Right.
Why, like, oh, yeah, the test against those new AI, like, military drones that were... No, they don't announce that stuff on the news. Like test pilot Hal Jordan, thankfully was not injured. And
yeah, imagine if all the announcements of like Boeing fucking up all their tests.
Yeah, that happens probably every day, multiple times a day.
probably would have solved some problems if that was the case. Anyways, but yeah, I think I glossed over that because I didn't even think about it because I was like, oh man, this is just exposition. This is literally them just describing what we just saw.
Yeah. Yes. And they're like, well, no official statement from Ferris Air. Of course not. Why would there be?
The only reason they had it was just to tell the family what had happened so they could be angry with him.
Yep.
That was the only reason why that existed. And it didn't make any sense because even then, who cared? It didn't matter.
Who cares?
Like, his family being angry with him didn't matter. It mattered not at all.
That's right. So Jack starts yelling at him. Jack, I was like, "Who's Jack? Maybe it's his brother. Maybe it's his brother."
It is. It's supposed to be his brother, but
he
doesn't come back later at all. Well, it doesn't matter.
Nope. And he's like, you're taking risks just like Dad. Like, why do you have to die like Dad? Also,
doesn't matter.
And I don't know if you picked up on it. Thais reminded me while we were watching. Hal's drinking straight out of the carton, like a savage.
Oh, I missed it. Oh no, he went into the kitchen. I missed it.
He went into the fridge. Well, that's when Jack starts yelling at him while they're in the kitchen together.
Yeah. But I missed. He went to the fridge and he drank. Right.
Yep, he drinks right from the carton, like a piece of shit.
Yeah,
I blame Martin Campbell.
I do too. Martin Campbell seems like a straight out of the carton guy, and he's like, you know what?
Yeah. Hey Ryan.
Hey Ryan.
I know you really hate this.
Yeah.
But
Ryan Reynolds is probably like not a carton drinking guy. He doesn't seem like
No.
He seems like
he's too cool.
He's too Canadian. You don't.
Right. So polite.
You drink out of a glass. That's politeness. So
yeah. So listeners, let us know if you want us to talk more about carton drinking.
Yeah, all day. Could spend an entire day talking about it.
Make it a regular spot. Anyway.
So go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, this is when Hal goes upstairs to talk to the boy.
The nephew. Is it nephew?
Must be. Right. Yeah, presumably.
Whatever. They don't even clarify.
Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't come back later. Not someone you have to save.
Child.
Yep,
well, this is when we do get a foreshadowed in a minute here.
We do.
So Hal gives him his present, which is a starfighter jet model thing, which sick. No payoff there either. And the kid's like, but what about the crash? Like, are you gonna die like Grandpa did? And he's like, no, I'm not afraid of stuff. Go back to the party, boy. And like yells at him a bunch, which is disconcerting.
Yeah, and then the kid asks him if he's scared, right?
Right.
And this is
my job not to.
And that's what Hal's dad said to him before, whatever.
Right before he died.
But guess what? He's dead. So you know what? Maybe.
And this is when we get the foreshadowed Hot Wheels track. On his way out, Ryan Reynolds sets off his nephew's little Hot Wheels track there.
Oh, wow. I missed that. I totally missed that.
Sets a car into motion, goes around the loop-de-loop out the outside there. Yeah.
Okay. That's stupid, but good catch. Good catch. I like that. And
I thought that they made too big of a deal of it.
I didn't even see it. I think maybe I was writing down a note. I don't even know. I was just like, oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. And then he leaves the party, right? And this is when the ring puts him in a bubble.
Well, so what happened from before, Abin Sur is like, go find a worthy big he's no good to me, dead. And he fires the thing, and then we get a green sphere as he's going to get in his car, wraps him up and shoots him across town, across Coast City to the coast.
Mm-hmm.
Basically pulling him to the Abin Sur crash site.
God, I hate the DC city names so much.
Yeah, there's I think I was between the DC city names and the character names. Like, come on, put a little effort.
I mean,
Sinestro,
to be fair,
Coast City.
To be fair, I feel like Marvel comic names aren't a lot better.
No, I mean, yeah, I guess, sure.
But the city names, at least they use real cities because it's Marvel, and they're like, oh, well, we'll just make it in the world because that is easier. Yeah. I hate the DC vision of like, well, no, we'll have Gotham. It's not New York, but it's like kind of New York.
Yeah, it's like it's like New York meets Pittsburgh.
It's in New Jersey. It's like fairly well established now. You're like, oh, of course, Gotham's in New Jersey, and Metropolis is in Delaware, which makes zero sense.
It's like 1980s New York City.
Yeah. Oh, it's so dumb. You get Smallville,
Lameville.
Yeah. You get Central City, which is like supposed to be like Kansas City, kind of, or like one of the middle cities in the middle, in the central somewhere.
And you got Coast City on the coast.
Coast City, which I think is San Diego, LA, right around there. Yeah.
Which I checked the plates. Yeah, on the plates, license plate on one of the cars, we actually had the Coast City plate.
Oh wow!
I was impressed. It looked like the California license plate. It had like the big California.
I appreciate that. Oh, they went all out. They really spent that $200 million.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well worth it.
Wisely.
the one thing they didn't CG. So Hal gets thrown into a little green sphere,
bubble.
Beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, bop, and then shipped across Coast City to the coast, back to the Abin Sur crash site. And we get a little meeting. We get basically the scene from the trailer where he gets there and then he drops in a little puddle and he gets up and he sees the crash and he's like, oh man. And he immediately just runs right for the crash and is like, hey,
I appreciate that.
I do too. I was like, yeah. He's like, I need help. Whoever's in this alien pod.
They're in distress. Yeah.
Yeah. I probably been like, I know how this ends. I'm going to go home.
Squeeze me.
Yeah. I'm going to call the cops or I'm going to call an Uber and just get out of here. Man,
So he goes over, they lock eyes, drags Abin Sur out of the spaceship.
Yep.
This is when we get the scene from the trailer where Abin Sur asks for his name and tells him, place the ring in the lantern, place the ring, speak the oath, great honor, responsibility. And then he dies. And this is when Ryan Reynolds' immediate response is, I got to call the nerd. Do we know Taika Waititi's character's name? Because I'm going to keep calling him the nerd otherwise.
Yeah, man. It's Tom. Tom Kalamuku.
Tom. Thank you. Tom Kalmark. Yes.
Not Tom, but just Tom.
Tom.
He's not a GPS. He's just Tom.
That joke plays well 16 years ago.
Yeah, it's like when I actually was like, when was Tom around? I was like
early
right around 2011.
Oh yeah, 9/11. There we go. Perfect. Yeah,
2011. 9/11. Well, yeah. So Tom shows up, his best bud, Taika Waititi. He shows up in a pickup for a pickup is basically an Uber call. And then he shows up and we're like, hey, what is going on here? And Lantern kind of gives a quick explanation. And then helicopters. Yeah, and then helicopters just show up and it's like, it took this long for the helicopters to come into town. Like
that's my biggest gripes, I think, so far with this movie is if an alien craft crash landed on Earth somewhere, anywhere, it would be swarmed by some government in minutes.
I would tell you, I would even say, how about this? Even less alien crash. How about any vehicle coming in from the air and crash landing on the shore? Like, Coast Guard, anyone would have seen this going on and been like, what the fuck?
Yes.
12 hours later, after a test pilot series and birthday party, all happening the same day.
The other thing, which I have a little bit of a gripe here, is we get a reveal that he buried Abin Sur.
Yeah, which is
weird in itself. But then also they dig him up immediately. Like the government digs him up. Yeah. Like that's also weird. We don't talk about it.
That's not weird. I mean, government digging people up. I mean, come on. Like,
good point.
But it's like you bury the alien right there, and then the ship is still like.
I'm not just going to leave him there. Is his excuse? What?
Light it all on fire. Put him back in here. Light it all on fire.
So then Ryan Reynolds is. Yeah.
Like how you glossed over that, like lighting him on fire.
I'm going to gloss right over it.
Like that's an okay thing.
Well, yeah, you give him a Viking funeral. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. I think you put him back in the ship, you light it on fire, and you push him out to the water, and that's why, you know what? No evidence, nothing, right?
That's right. We're a pro Vikings podcast. Everyone knows that.
100%. Well, yeah. No, we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Are we? Are we sure about that? I mean,
yes.
Right? Well, I mean...
I think we can be broadly pro Vikings and not necessarily condone the actions committed by some Vikings.
I mean, it's a different time.
Oh my God.
Was it not?
No. Pillaging was cool.
All right. So now we are in a car ride, Tom and Hal, driving away from the helicopters, which we thought were impending doom, but they're really not. And for some reason, they're driving very quickly away, and it's kind of a chaotic car ride.
Yeah, and also Hal is driving Tom's car.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, I guess just to show that he's a dick, but
that's a great point. Why is he driving his car? Or maybe he was supposed to be inspecting the lantern and like being a nerd about it.
Yeah, maybe. And this is when Hal kind of gets into, well, he said something about responsibility, and that's when Tom's like, ha, responsibility, you. Maybe on their planet, responsibility just means asshole, which was almost the quote.
Damn it. I take all these beginning quotes as very personal now. The lantern.
That's why I didn't say it. Yeah.
The lantern does like a little beam flash thing, whatever. But there's no reason for them to be running away from anyone. There's no immediate danger. Like 2 helicopters flew in, but they never chase them. There's nothing else that happens here. Like
they don't even know he was there.
There's no like.
No consequences.
Nope. Just drive like a normal human being, and And then we're here. We are. We're back on.
Up. Yep. Oh my
God. Back with Sinistro, and he's with Sinus Guy. He's with the Mars Attacks Council.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's very dramatically being like, Abin Sur is dead, and the 4 other lanterns from the beginning of the movie we're guessing, right? Who had to wear?
I think so. Yeah.
Suits. I didn't know
suits for some reason. Yeah, no, you're right. Like I don't know.
That's what was confusing me. Wouldn't they just have, if they couldn't breathe out here? Wouldn't they just have like green?
I mean, why does Abin Sur drive a spaceship? Who knows? But yeah, I don't know, man. You're probably right. Maybe they weren't. But they did like lantern stuff. I don't know. You know what this feels like? This feels like you get Martin. It's not our fault.
No, it's someone's fault. Well, it is someone's fault. There's a lot.
We're at each other's throat. It doesn't have to be this way.
Oh no, I'm not at your throat. No, I'm at the other people's throats who made this movie. But
good.
There's what it feels like is you got a bunch of people, or you got a director who has zero knowledge and or care or took any time to look through the comics and understand the lore and everything, right?
Clearly.
He's just riding off his 2 James Bond coattails films as like, I can direct some action and stuff like this. But
had Casino Royale come out already? Was that like
2006?
2006? Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
I was in high school. Did I see that in high school?
Casino Royale came out a long time ago, 2 years before Iron Man.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah,
you're right. He was coasting.
And yeah, that's what this feels like. So anyway, so here we are in terrible CG, and Sinestro is here. Is basically just talking about how Parallax is growing more powerful. He's talking to the council.
He's trying to convince them that we need to launch a first strike.
He's the first strike guy.
They're like, we're aware of the threat. We're assessing the situation.
Bureaucratic bullshit, right? You know, come on, man. Yep. Let's get in there.
But at the end, he does convince them to let him take a crew. He's like, let me get my best boys. We're going to go do a big thing. And don't worry, you guys will not be disappointed. Like, I would have loved, I like Mark Strong as much as the next guy.
That's me. I'm the next guy. I like Mark Strong.
Yeah. You know who I would have loved to play Sinestro instead? Jason Mantzoukas. That would be a way better Sinestro, right?
Yeah, no, I'm on board with that. It would have a little bit of a snark to it, a little, but kind of aloof snark, a little,
Yes, more better than Mark Strong can do, I think.
Yeah. Okay. And then we're back at Peter Sarsgaard's place here.
Yep, Hector Hammond.
Mr. Hector. Obviously, he's a genius because he's got a messy apartment. He plays chess.
That's right.
Gotta
2 for 2.
2 for 2. And then gets a little door knock, and we see that he's already get a hint at a little quick glance at a newspaper clipping of Carol Ferris there. So he's got a little bit of maybe he's got a little thing for Carol there.
Yeah, you think so? You
think, right? So,
and then even the thing I loved, and by loved I mean despise about this movie, is that even when they're not doing exposition, like the script is written in an exposition way. There's like all of a sudden there's a knock at the door and it's Dr. Hector Hammond.
Yeah.
we need you to come with us. Like, oh, okay. Now I know exactly who this is.
Yeah.
All right. That's not exposition necessarily, but they're like, oh no, let's just tell you exactly what's happening.
Yeah. Like I feel like, so we get some government agents show up at his door and like, they just, I think they'd just be like,
you come with us.
Yeah. Right. Like we know who you are. We did our homework. Like we're knocking on your door for a reason. Like we don't need to ask who you are. Like,
excuse me, Dr. Hector Hammond. I presume.
Are you the Dr. Hector Hammond?
So then this next part is sponsored by Chevy Suburbans. What a roomy interior. And they take his hood off, bring him to see the alien, where we get a nice flash of the Chevy logo.
Hey,
and then they leave him to it. They're like, well, smell you later.
See you, bud. And they just seal him in a room.
Yeah. Which you're like, wait, what? Oh my God. Thank God Angela Bassett's on her way to save me.
So she shows up. She's Dr. Amanda Waller, which we had mentioned before. She's a major character in like the DC kind of, I think, universe.
Okay.
She
I haven't
shows
gotten
up in Suicide Squad. Oh, yeah. I mean, yes, but she shows up and she's like, hey, what's going on? So I was confused. This all felt very like it moved very quickly.
Yes.
And I wasn't sure if I missed something. Did Hector Hammond know Amanda Waller? Do they know each other? Is he aware of this program? Is he aware of anything that's going on here? Why is he, as a genius who plays chess, is he not asking more questions of like, why was I taken in the middle of my chess match? Why am I here? Where am I? What's going on?
Yep.
Nope.
I don't think he knew any of that.
Okay. He just immediately went into.
Is that what I think it is?
Yeah. That's your first question?
Is that a fucking alien, bro?
I'd be like, yeah, like, and she just leads him right into this big room, and where they got the alien. And Eben Sir.
There's a lot of like, later on, she'll do a lot of like people like us.
Yeah.
Kind of thing to him. But like, yes, no, they don't know each other. It seems like he has no context for this.
Right.
You would think he'd be asking a lot of questions. And that's the thing. Like, that's not even like they're already doing so much stupid exposition writing in this movie anyway. Why not add a little bit more to make this scene more
believable?
Right. Exactly. It's very frustrating.
So anyways, he's on board, whatever's happening. So he gets led into the main chamber and she's like, yep, blah, alien. Okay, cool. And then he's like, "What? What do you want?" I don't even know if he even asked why they want him, right? Or he does, and she's like, "We want you to do initial assessment of his biology because he's a big biology guy."
Yeah, like you're a xenobiologist or whatever. You might as well be here. And he's like, "Okie dokie."
He's like a professor at like a community college or something, or like a high school. It's like,
he's like, "Well, all right, well, let's get started."
But we do learn the intentions later because his dad, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, it's all stupid though. Not very well.
No. And his dad is, that's like, this isn't a comic book point either. His dad is not a character. There's no Senator Hammond in the comics. Like, like this isn't Hector Hammond's story at all.
Yeah.
Like it's not like in the, I mean, we'll get to it in a second, but like he doesn't get his powers from exposure to the parallax. He gets his powers from radiation from Abinsur's spacecraft. Like this, it's dumb. Anyway, we can keep going.
So now the next like scene, I'm going to frame this. So you let me know if this is the way we do this. So the next like I would say scene, is it's kind of weird, and it took me like I watched it once and I actually had to rewind because I was like, it's kind of annoying because it cuts. So what it does is it cuts between Hector Hammond and Hal, right? So it cuts like, and it's like, so we have Hector Hammond at the government building about to start the autopsy on Abinsur, and then it cuts to Hal playing around with the lantern, right?
On his coffee table. Yep.
Yeah, on his coffee table.
Ring.
And but it's like, it just like these quick cuts back and forth. So these things are all happening at the same time is what they're trying to, I guess, tell us. But I don't know why that matters. Like just,
it doesn't.
You can go through one. You could literally go through one and then you can go through the other one. And
they're like, guys, we've had too many scenes that are minutes. We need to make a couple of real quick ones.
I think what they were probably thinking, like, this is fucking boring. Yeah, let's intercut between them and maybe that'll make it more interesting.
Yeah. let's shake up the pacing a little bit here and just do some quick cuts.
All right. So we get Hal playing with the lantern. He's in his sweet ass apartment. He's got the lantern. He's tinkering with it.
Nothing's happening. Yeah.
Nothing's happening, right? And then we cut to Hector. He's suited up, getting right into the autopsy.
Yep.
Cut back to Hal. He's doing various pledge of allegiance and whatever prayers to the pledges to the lantern. Nothing's working. Yep. Cut back to Hector. Working. He's getting deep into it now. We're doing point of view shot of him getting deep into Abinsur here.
Yep, that's right.
Never thought I'd ever say that, but he's getting in there. And then I think it's either this moment or then maybe the next shot, whatever. He gets bit by something that's inside there, a little yellow.
Yeah, I think it's in this one. Yeah, he gets a little cut or something.
Fucking snags him and gotcha. A little bit of fear. And then we get Hal, cut back to Hal. He's tapping the lantern with the ring and then finally lights
infinity
up.
And beyond. By the power of Grayskull.
Yeah. And he finally taps the lantern with the ring and then it lights up and he gets kicked back and then
all of a sudden he knows the oath. Right.
Now he knows the oath, right?
And that's when Carol knocks at the door.
Yep. And then Carol, so he gives out the oath and then Carol knocks the door and he's like, drinks. She's like, drinks. And he's like, yeah, sounds great.
Well, she wants to come in and he's like, no, let's go elsewhere because the lantern is still on my table.
And then we're back to the government building, and
we're back at the autopsy.
Yeah, we're back at the autopsy. Now, this is the part where I'm going to need you to kind of fill me in a bit here. So, Hector's excited, right? He's a scientist. He's excited about this discovery. He's dug through, right?
Presents his initial analysis.
Which is on a good old fashioned giant data drive, right? Hard drive, and he hands it over to Waller, which never do that, right?
Nope.
And then he's like, "Oh, this is gonna be great to share with the world and the public, blah blah." And she's like, "Bro, Area 51, we don't share that shit, right?"
Yeah, like yourself, Doctor. I'm a seeker of truth, but we need to work within the system. It's very frustrating.
So we get like a little bit of a government cover up thing here about the alien, right? Which
because he's like, even just the fact that this alien is humanoid, like this isn't the MCU. We're not comfortable with aliens at this point, right?
No.
Like like in the DC world, there are no aliens. Like even if you counted, I don't think they were going to, but even if you counted like the Batman movies, the Christopher Nolan trilogy there as part of this universe, there are no aliens. Like that's not a thing that's been established. So this is big news. And he's like, the fact that they're humanoid, like what, like suggests a convergence of evolution, or maybe we have common ancestry. Like there's so many things to explore here that are crazy.
He's excited. He's an excited scientist.
Be cool.
Yeah.
Like, how is she not more excited about it? Because she also is like, I'm like you.
She's she's always been kind of like, I think like this little behind the scenes sketchy government agent thing, situation.
I guess, but it seems like she also has no exposure to aliens. Like this seems like because she's like, no, that's right. This is the first alien I ever got.
And then this is the moment where there's like a little bit of a kickoff to him, and like, oh, this person doesn't trust me. So there's a little bit of conflict right there, right, with him. And
yes, because he's like, we got to tell the world. And she's like, no, like, trust me, we're better served if we all just keep this under wraps, and like, we'll learn and we'll adjust and it'll be fine. But like, play cool.
One of the many moments I've kind of built up to making Hector Hammond turn into this guy who's like, you know what? No one's listening to me. No one is appreciating me. No one's appreciating the things that like what we're doing, Yeah,
they're trying to make...
He's a bit selfish.
They're trying to build backstory for Hector Hammond because they are starting from nothing, basically, at this point. Like, pretty much. Like, what? Like, well, we'll just throw out the comics and whatever. This will be fine.
All right, so that's done. So we got like a little bit of a build up there. Now we're at the bar.
Yep. Now we're at the bar. Hal and Carol having a drink. He's apologizing. She's like, have you been replaced by an alien or something? Apologizing. And he's like, what? Maybe. And then he follows it up with, do you think I'm irresponsible? Which was also possibly the quote. And she laughs because he is. And then he asks her to dance, and it feels out of place because they don't have chemistry really at this point. Like, even though real life, future husband and wife.
Well, even the two characters have a bit of a history, but he's just pressing, he's singing and like, pushing to dance. And she's like, no. And then they finally dance. And then they dance, and he's kind of apologizing further, I guess, about screwing things up.
Yep.
And then she like pushed him about the test flight, and then he just like bugs out. And he's like, I'm thanks for the dance, and just leaves.
Yep. Like, basically, what? That's when he did get the, like, I spent my afternoon worrying about you. Like, you can tell she cares for him. And then, then he splits. So then we cut to the parking lot where he gets jumped immediately by the VP of marketing, Bob. Like,
who is it? Who's doing this to me? It's Bob from marketing, bitch.
I told you to watch your back, Jordan.
Yeah. Gene Todd from accounting. Hold him.
You cost us all of our jobs, you son of a bitch.
These accounting guys are dirty, so hold yourself. Bob's just laying into him. Yeah.
And then they lay into him. Like, they beat the shit out of Ryan Reynolds. Which Ryan Reynolds is, a peak human specimen.
Absolutely. Well, from head down, right?
Bob from marketing is not.
Absolutely not.
I don't know. It's very frustrating.
So anyways, Hal gets his ass kicked by these three guys. Gene, Todd from accounting, and then Bob from marketing. And then he's like he's picking himself up against, a truck, whatever. And he puts his hand in like a can of bolts and nuts, whatever, right? And he's like, hey, how are you? How are you guys? Whatever, you jerks.
Yeah. My fist is just getting warmed up.
Get warmed up. Grabs the things. The three guys turn around, and he whips the handful of nuts and bolts at their face. But at the same time, the ring kicks in, and you get a good old A-foreshadowed fist that will come back later. Knocks all three of them out and tosses them across the parking lot, and all of the car alarms are going off. No one else hears this. And he's just like, oh, damn.
And then green stuff happens. Like, he starts to get in like another little orb of green, and he's trying to take the ring off, but he can't.
Yeah.
And then instead he gets blasted into space, right?
Yeah. It just blasted into space. And I think it's a good time where we stop for part one.
I think you're exactly right.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back on Thursday with part two. But in the meantime, follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That. We're ITMT Pod on Twitter. And wherever you're listening to us, Spotify, Google, you should subscribe, follow, whatever it takes.
Appreciate that. And while you're there, you should also leave us a review, especially if you're on Spotify or Apple. 5 stars would be nice. Roast us in the comments. Do whatever you got to do. Say something nice about us. We'd prefer that if you did. But
send us some comic books we should, Green Lantern comics we should read.
So yeah, leave that in the review, or you can just send that to us in an email. If you need a lot of words to get your comic book recommendation across, it's thismeetsthat@gmail.com is the right avenue for you. Or you can go to our website, it's thismeetsthat.com, where you can find all of our old episodes, the back catalog, some info on our hosts, maybe some special Easter eggs if you're on the hunt for an ITMT Easter egg. Wow. Check out the website. Love you.